Hello? Yeah, it's working. Yeah.
What does this look like?
Wow, that looks like chaos.
Yeah, everybody else. I fucked Josh up so badly, Sil. I fucking drilled him. I drilled
Wow.
him so I fucked him up so badly, and I told David to get off his fucking ass to go help. I've never in my life seen such my they can't even understand what I've done to get here. I've sacrificed all my own mental health, my own everything, my own money to get to this point. And I everything outside is completely tight and clean relative to this.
Wow.
And all of them want to tell that my energy is off and their inaction is disgusting and their selfishness is disgusting. I told David and Lily, go take care of Josh because he's tripping on mushrooms right now and he's staring at my son like he wants to fuck him. I said, if I see him do that again, I'm going to fucking take him out. If he gets close to the bridge from where they are across the pond, I let all the artists, every one of them, enjoy a day to go on their vision quest. I had 15 minutes while they all went on 7-hour vision quests. I had 15 minutes to enjoy it with them until I had to go on to go see my son, to go do everything else that has pushed this thing along. And we each had a partner for the day, and mine was Josh. And I left. I said, Lily, please watch Josh. And he went into another dimension. And I said, if you come across the bridge where everybody else is, where my mother is, where the new buyers are, they hadn't got there yet, and you can't operate. I said, if people want to come back to you guys back here and you want to operate the way that you want to, then you're allowed to do whatever you want because they're coming back to visit you. And trust me, people are going to be intimidated by you guys. They're not going to come back here. They see what you're doing back here. You're doing all the beautiful stuff that we like to do. But I asked for help 2 times, and it's from David. And David knows that I'm not happy with him as a co-captain on this. If he would help with Josh, after one time he came frolicking across the bridge like he was a butterfly, and the second time he stared at my son as if he was going to suck his penis, a 9-year-old,
Wow.
because he was feeling the oneness principle of the world under mushrooms and psychedelics.
Yeah.
And after 2 warnings, I gave David and Lily, I said, you guys get him. I cannot keep going over here. I haven't seen my son in months. I've seen him twice since we've been home. I spent all my time with you guys. They have no capability to get up and stop Josh for a third time from coming across the bridge. I said, that is it. Watch me wreck this motherfucker. And I was not going to kill him, and I was not going to do all this stuff, and I wasn't going to break his head. I was so deliberate with it. I went on a 100-yard sprint and jacked him in the chest, jacked him a second time to turn him around and put my elbow in his back on the ground and said, this is my this is my day too. You guys have no idea what's happening. I was up since 4 a.m. that day, moving stuff until 9:30 in the morning, my back breaking. I've been doing this for 12 years and they've been doing it for 12 days. They have no understanding. And I'm no longer telling them to come to get up at a certain time. I'm no longer the rest of the time we're here. If they want to do work, they can call me. I'm no longer doing group starts. It's not, I can't even, they have no idea. They simply have no idea. And they want to talk about how they want to talk about the stuff that, I once we start, we are going to be on a regimen, and we're going to be waking up at 6:45. We're going to have an hour for health and an hour for operations, and we're going to have 90 minutes for driving and 90 minutes for play and 90 minutes for driving and 90 minutes for play
And
and 90 minutes for driving.
some time for me. That's important.
What?
Some time where they interact with me. It's very important. Hold that into
Who?
the group, everybody. Just
Yeah,
some
I don't care.
time.
You can do whatever you want to. You communicate with all of them however you want to. I don't want to see them very much before we leave. I want to see my son. I want to see my family. I want to see my mother.
That daily regimen.
What?
There, part of the daily regimen that they need to do every day is get on Zoom with me. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you have to reach out to them. You have their numbers. I need a break from this. I'm completely exhausted, you know. And once again, everything that happened with David was very symbolic. That when he said that I was so tired still, the day we went up to Philadelphia, we drove 8 hours round trip to get a bus that we couldn't even get, and that was the tail end of my day. And you know, David the next day, he goes, "You and Bo were up in Philadelphia dicking around," and I'm going, "How could he possibly think I'm dicking around?"
Yeah.
And he called it. He said, as soon as I said Bo was the director that day, he said, you know, "I want a ticket." I said, "Done. It's done." So I sent a 4-page letter to my attorney. Did I tell you who my attorney is?
No.
Do you know Stephen Colbert?
Oh yeah, you mentioned it. His brother, yeah.
His brother is my attorney. So I told all the legal stuff. I mean, the amount of the amount of stuff I said, I decided this was the day we had to get off. This was a day where the property was going to have beautiful weather. This was the day also that my parents are coming down. They have no idea what shape the property's in. It looks like chaos, but it's not, because this is chaos, right?
Yeah.
Outside, it looks like it, but guess what? Still, it's not chaos. I know where everything is.
Yeah.
I put
Not
all.
chaos to you. Yeah.
What?
It's not chaos to you. Might be to someone else, but not to you.
Well, of course. Well, anyone who's looking at 45,000 objects in a field,
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't even know what's this here. If you look at this, and we'll recap this in a couple few days, and it will be all tightened up, because this is. But my point is that I'm hiding this side of them, because I'm everything else outside that I'm doing. I only have so much bandwidth, and you know, I have. They just don't. And granted, Josh was under influence and all that stuff, but it was like, do you not realize that I need to see my son, and he's on the other side of the bridge, so please go back to this side of the pond? And he was like, no. And after I hit him, I picked him up, I hugged him, I said, "Josh, I love you. And I could, you know, we were staring at each other, gazing at each other. I said, "My girlfriend's wondering why I'm hugging you right now." I said, "Just please get back." And I told David when I couldn't get control of him to get up off his feet, and he didn't do it. And once again, he wants to talk to me about some stuff that, you know, I told him I need a real co-captain in this. I said, you're the person, hopefully Sil can also, you know, be that, because you're leaving, but whoever it is, I need somebody who's really going to stand up, because this is not, David's trying to tell me this spiritual energy was what he was communicating to Josh at that time. Like, no, I actually just need you to get up and take action at some point. This is a very, you know, we can play the vibration world game, and I love it, and I live that world. But when I sit around and watch, you know, it's like, do you not see when I say my parents are coming down today, and they're 5 minutes away, and we asked the owners here, we were supposed to be out in 2 days. We were supposed to be leaving tomorrow. And I after being so tired, I went and walked the property with the new owners for an hour, getting them all jazzed, and asked them for 5 extra days for the property, which is literally made. Now the place is going to close on Thursday. I'm going to get the money on Friday. I can make all these things ring that weren't even possible. I just realized I can send 3 more vehicles now, because we have these extra days with us, because I have bus mechanics I have 2 bus mechanics flying into Philadelphia. I have a videographer that I just contracted who's going to be following us. I mean, I have 13 people on this team, and no one really understands exactly. You know, David will ask me for time to talk about just this philosophical crap, man, that has no place in time. It's so rude of them to ask for my time right now for stuff that is so unbelievably selfish. And they're, as David said, he goes, for somebody who's so loving and caring, Justin, you've had this time where, 2 times where you yelled at Rosanna and what you did to Josh. I said, I am so happy I had the courage to destroy Josh, because he was an unmovable, he was on one of the biggest trips I've ever seen in my life. And the only way that I could do that was literally destroy him. I knew I wasn't going to, do anything. I saw exactly the angle I hit him. I'm a very conscious person, right? I said the same thing with Rosanna. I said, when I yelled at Rosanna, we were going to see my dying niece, and she was on pot. And I had only 30 minutes to see her, and Rosanna made it only 15 minutes. And so what am I going to do when someone's being selfish with smoking pot and I'm not able to do what's important to me? I said, what am I going to do when I know I have to ask these owners for 5 extra days and Josh is hanging from a tree? And of course they're not going to let us stay if they see that happens.
Yeah.
I saw the whole thing coming. I saw my mother coming down the driveway in 5 minutes. I said, so what did I have to do? I said, the only way I can get this thing is to wake him up real quickly, because I've tried 2 times and it hasn't worked, and you guys aren't helping me. So what am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do?
In other words, it's about strategy. That's the point. Yes?
It's about leadership.
Right. But I'm saying they're not strategic in their thinking. And of course, leadership is all about strategy.
Well, I mean, there's
but it's the substance management. If you involve yourself with people who aren't disciplined with their substance management, then you are going to have problems.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I trust me, I put that on myself for, and I'm not judging David for it because he was under the influence of it. So I said, this is not your normal self, but realize that I'm not the one to be judged for wrecking him, because I was managing so many different things that day. And at the end of the day, I'm the one, when my legs were literally crippled, tired. I realized everyone needed to eat. I cooked an hour and a half dinner for everyone when I was totally tired.
Wow.
And I realized they needed to eat. And I mean, they don't, and it's fine. They're overall, we're doing well, but I basically need a break from them before we go on this 10-day journey or whatever. Or 12 days.
You do, Justin. Yes. Absolutely. You need that break. You need to recharge. You need to refill and just have a complete break of everything. It's very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, I need to. I have my boss. I have a job now that I've started 2.5 weeks ago, and I've done basically 0 for them. They're wondering why I've produced nothing.
Oh, what is the job? If you don't mind me asking, so I'm just curious.
What?
What is the job? I'm just curious.
It's a corporate sales job. I contracted, right? And my point is that, I'm telling these guys, I'm like, how they don't, I see this being, I told my friend today that I believe that this group will be worth in the billions of dollars, right? Like $1 billion or hundreds of millions. This concept, whoever breaks out of, I said, it has nothing to do with what I want to keep it or this. I said, what I tell the group, that we're paying everything we're doing, from the donations on the road to what we're going to get on the Clarkdale land for people to come experience us. I said that all that stuff, we're first paying for the cost to do this. And then I said, David is going to get paid first. So I said, I'm not even going to pay myself as long as I have another job. So wouldn't they want to do everything they can because if I don't have my job, then I'm going to get paid first, which is going to put them way, way behind the ball. And they don't understand it. And David, quite frankly, doesn't understand it, because he was telling me today, well, we've put, me as an artist on the back burner. I'm like, no, we haven't. We've been doing it in tandem. I spent thousands of dollars for your branding. We've been networking with people. I flew people down here for MLK Day. Like, I'm doing both at once. And there's this belief that somehow things are not going fast enough. And David has this the paradox of David is, he thinks that he's going to be 150 years old, and he thinks that the universe will flow when it flows, yet he's extremely impatient. Extremely impatient. And he does not own up to that reality, because the way he talks is, it's just going to happen when it happens. And he does not operate that way. And he wants to have these drowned out philosophical conversations, and they're and they're just always at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I mean, he, you know, and so, you know, I love him to death, but it's, you know, today isn't, here's an example today.
Inappropriateness, in other words, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's inappropriateness. It's, you know, today, like I have to start to really differentiate between having a creative license to do things, which I want everyone to have, to be able to create on their own when we're on the land or driving around and we're stopped and people generally know what spaces they're interacting with and they can create. But today I gave them very specific directions to meet me at the Home Depot, and I'm dealing with the Ford Motor Company. I have a contact there. They don't know the rest of the team. I don't want to show the whole team to them. I don't want to see a bunch of gypsies at the Ford dealership at this point. I'm not ready for it. And they just went in there today and asked for him, ask about what's happening with the car, to try to, you know, because they think they're being proactive. I was like, I didn't tell you to do that. And it's like, I was trying to, you know, get things done. I was like, no, that's not it. I know Craig. Craig is going to think differently about the problems we have with these cars, the drive shaft. If he sees you guys come in, he's going to put one and one together.
Yeah.
Right. I have a way I'm doing this. And then, you know, and it's like, I told him, I said, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but just please recognize that, like, there's simply, like, until we get out to Clarkdale and we're getting out of the place that I created here and all these vehicles, like, ask me before you do anything and I can give you some direction. Yeah. And, you know, and everything happened with.
They can ask me too. You know, I mean, I have enough common sense to know that in that case, I would have said, no, stay away. That's Dustin's personal contact, you know. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it's just this, it's also beyond the personal contact. Like, when you're going into a Ford dealership or an office building, like, there's a way to essentially, not that you can't be eccentric, but you have to present yourself, and that you can't just, you know, there's, you know,
you have to come to their expectations. Otherwise, they're not going to work with you. Very simple.
What?
You have to fit into their expectations. If you're outside of their mold, that you become too risky and they want nothing to do with you. So it's very simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So anyways, it's, you know, all things being considered, it's still going well, you know, and me and Josh are very tight now after that. And you could, we were very tight.
Excellent.
You know, we were hanging. I mean, I consider Josh as the person who's going to help me move around the world, and kind of like a right-hand man of sorts. So it's not like there was no.
He's got a good sensibility when he's sober. So.
Yeah, but I mean, he went through something that his eyes were so odd and weird, and the way he was gazing, he was just really tripping. And he, you know, he basically said, you know, he died or something. He felt like he was going to die or something.
Wow.
And he may have for a moment, his soul, whatever happened, but, you know, it's you know, this is just a big thing for everyone. And I do realize that, and I have some, you know, compassion for everyone and how they're going about this, but, you know, it still very much shows that, you know, Bo and Makengo now are really the ones that are, you know, really getting after this whole thing and really uncovering it. And Makengo doesn't, you know, he doesn't drive and he doesn't speak the language that well, but he's very much in this to really listen and learn and receive, and you know, and Bo is there too, but Bo is also caught up in this. You know, he kept saying when he was in the beginning of his trip, I am a sovereign being, I am worthy. And I get that, but it's like we are also one. You know, Bo brings up all these conversations with David that do not need to come up at all, that just cause problems when Bo and David connect on the spiritual and the music realm, right? And not on the, you know, and it's just like when and where and what you're saying. It's like you there's no reason to get into conversations with David. I don't even get into conversations with David about stuff that I know he's going to be stubborn about, because why would I do that? It's not that big of a deal to me. So you're making a big deal out of something that's not a big deal. This can't be, you know, as long as there's respect among each other, we want to talk about it. And, and it's just, I mean, and Lily, she's trying, but she's, she was always if somebody were to go next, it's going to be her, because, she's just, and yeah, until I have a lot of respect for her because she's the only woman, but she is, the way that she, we had a whole plan the other day and we were going to leave. I sent out logistics by the phone, and then she just completely changed it, and everything changed once she changed it because she wanted to do something different, which is fine. But these things just need to be communicated earlier. And she just doesn't, does not understand the flow and really what's at stake here. And, she comes from, you can tell the insecure people like David and her, when, if I say something, they think I'm talking about them being, dispensable, which I'm not saying at all. And they're like, yeah, no, we're wholesome, valuable people. I'm like, I'm not saying anything about that. You guys are saying that. That's your projection you're putting on yourself and your insecurity. So she's coming from that base, and it's fine. And yeah, I mean, I'm just itching to get everyone out to Arizona, and I'm itching to start this trip. And I'm itching to have a bigger team where I'm not just around a few of them, where there's a bigger team. I'm itching to be around some older people, some older men. Lauren is 73. This guy Pop is 65, I think. These are guys that I just resonate with in terms of, if I had to keep people, it's really a lot of it's going to be on the operations team, and I'm going to find the right artists who really want to be here.
Yeah.
Because I know everyone wants to be here, but do they really understand what is at stake, and what have I been doing to, like, do they see? I just don't know if they see and feel the movements of how I'm moving. Like, and my mom is like dead fucking broke. My mom doesn't even have, like, my mom's stage 4 lung cancer. Like, me and her have been gritting this out to get to the point of, to get to the point of Thursday when the money transfers. Like, we've had nothing. I've been begging my friends for loans over the last 4 months to get to this point. Yeah, I have $75,000 still that I have to pay back when this house closes. Like, I have been doing every single thing, and it has nothing to do with, yes, I think it's a good thing. It will be a sustainable enterprise. It could, certainly fund some, my life of sorts, but it's not even about that. If I wanted to, I could be going out and I could be living down there myself, and, and building a house down there on the land or whatever. That's not what I'm doing. And I don't think they see and feel what my intention and the sacrifice is. I mean, it's, and they don't, if I tell somebody like, look at the way I'm working now, and imagine that I've already taken off. Like, I took 6 days off in 2,000 days. I've already taken 2 days off now in the last 2 weeks. Like, I only did that two times in 2 years before. Like, I never took a day off ever. And like, that's how we got here. We didn't get here because of, and so, and it is what it is. And it's not, once we get these documents in place, and I'm having like all the liability waivers and intellectual property and all that stuff, they've got to understand what they're buying into here in this. There needs to be a path, like we talked about, of certainly to make more money. Like, that should absolutely be there once we get to all those things are going to be there. But, they need to really be able to see and feel what it is. And I guarantee you, they're going to be like most other people. They're going to feel entitled that they, once we're doing well, where's mine? Well, like, can you look in my face, and when I tell you I'm not going to take any money or anything, can you respect that and not just be like assuming that I'm a really rich person? Because that's not the case.
No.
That's not the case. I've been fluctuating with debt and risk. The risks that I've taken have allowed this, and the risks that my family have allowed me to go on, whether because this was refinancing houses, almost losing houses because of my entrepreneurial, risks.
I understand what you're doing. I understand. I get it.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's just important for you to relay to them. Like, I mean, to me, the stuff that they need to talk about with you is, first, how are they doing after they lost the first person? Like, what has happened after? I mean, David was certainly a central force within this group. how is everyone doing? I mean, I have an idea. I've talked to some people, but how are they doing? And how are we going to work with, like, because I want to make it pretty, I want to come up with processes and some sort of methodology about how people both enter and exit this.
Yeah.
Right. That's not just, oh, I want a plane ticket. Okay, plane ticket. Good. Bye, Dave. That's all it was.
Yeah.
He already threatened 3 times, and he gave me that way out, and I was taking that all day long. So we need to get to a point where people realize that this is, and it's not a threat of that you're getting kicked out, but how do you enter and exit? How do we look into other people being part of this, and how do people transition from here in a way that's respectful of everyone involved?
Yeah. When do they have free time so then I can focus on that? All right, you all right, man? Wow.
What?
You okay?
I'm tired. I'm sick. I mean,
you gotta take it easy. If you really get down too far, then your whole project's going to collapse. So you better rest, man.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to rest before we leave.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to go to sleep. But I would in the next 2 days, I would say, like, I'd like them to try to work in the morning. But once again, I'm not going to ask them to work. I'm just going to see who comes and tells me, because I need initiative, and intention is more important than being like, let's work now. No, I mean, yes, we're going to have that when we're on the road, because we're going to be moving as a group. But I mean, right now, I don't even want to interact with them in that way of they can come. I told them, you can come and reach out to me if you want to work. And I mean, Josh has been great at getting up early, doing his breathing. Like, Josh is, he's getting after it, but he's also, example, like Lily holds him back, because he's trying to protect her and help her, because he knows she's having a little bit of a harder time. But, I mean, then that's where Bo without David is like night and day, man.
Yeah.
He is shining.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, David was messing Bo up. Yeah, he was affecting. He was affecting David. David was affecting Bo, because Bo
he wasn't letting him
David.
shine.
Yeah.
He was holding him. If ever Bo started to make some moves and really, really make some headway, David would do a lot of, David had this whole thing of this sarcasm. I told him, if he ever heard the phrase sarcasm is a protest of the weak, it's just, he kept doing all this sarcastic stuff to people. He was always saying something that was either cutting and rude or overly nice. He had nothing in the middle. He needs to figure out how to live in the middle. He doesn't live in the middle.
But anyway, he's not a factor right now. How did you meet David, by the way? I'm just curious. How did you come?
David?
Yeah.
He came into a bar in VOC and said, "Is that your van outside? You're running for president? I'm running too."
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, look, I like David as a person. I have nothing wrong with him. I just have no interest in working with him.
Oh. So he's not in a space where he can be in a group and in the community right now. So.
No, he's not. He's not. But yeah, I think, for them, my point is, I think anytime after 12 o'clock East Coast time would be great to get them. I'll just reach out to them.
In the afternoons then, because my mornings are pretty much snowed anyway.
Yeah, I put all their phone numbers in your phone, right?
Yeah, I saw that. So that's why I'm asking. So now I can connect to them. I had the older phones. Some of them did send me their newer phones, but now I'll just reach out to all of them. And instead of doing the group sessions, which I'm keen on, but I'll focus on working with them individually.
That would be awesome. Yeah. So Shu is Josh, Koya is Bo, and Stardust Lily is Lily. So yeah, they're all there.
I'll reach out to all of them, every number that you put in there, and from them I'll get everyone's numbers. I want to talk to them all and connect them all.
Okay.
It's a big team, one whole team. So whatever. And when I reach out to them individually, I can adapt to them and connect to them, in terms of what's pertinent and relevant to them, and I'll work on their level, on what they do in their language and so on. So yeah, I'll customize and everything. No.
Great. All right. Well, we'll talk in a few days. All right.
Be good, man. Be good.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.